We're just under 2 weeks away from the greatest race. We thought now's a good time to have a look at the Grand National at Aintree. We're on nominal no bet on the action. We lost 11 runners last week from the entry stage, including the Gold Cup winner, Inothewayurthinkin. He was a very short price favourite because he would have been massively well in the handicap, boys. But it means obviously we've got a more wide open contest now. But the Irish, as you would expect, are dominant towards the head of the betting, Joel.
Yeah, I mean, we were there sitting, or I was, I ended up on the preview show for Cheltenham and saying, Factorfile should be running in the Gold Cup. What's he doing here? What's happening here? But JP proved absolutely right. Wins both the Gold Cup and the Ryanair. Did anybody really think the winner of the Gold Cup would have been going on to Aintree for the Grand National? When you look at that horse that we thought last year had so much in hand, but actually looks like an absolute star.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, you've been chucked. It's a very different race nowadays, isn't it? It is like a very good staying handicap chase, and connections are inclined to throw the good ones in there. But I think with what happened with Synchronized for JP many years ago, I think it would have been a brave decision to have gone for it. Considering he's probably going to, he could easily win the next 2, maybe 3 Gold Cups.
Last year potentially. It's that half a week or week tighter, isn't it, this year? Just probably would play in your mind. But I mean, the opposing argument is he actually won well, didn't he, at Cheltenham? Could you say that was a hard race, and he likes a sound surface, won nicely? Okay, it's a Gold Cup.
Yeah, I think every Gold Cup's a hard race, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I agree. You probably wouldn't have wanted to see him in here, would you? There's plenty more for him, as you said, Mate. He could come back and have another crack, or will have another crack at the Gold Cup next year, and could go to Punchestown in the meantime. So
you mentioned JP, Joel. He's got plenty of entries without Inothewayurthinkin. Maybe he doesn't need to, and he's got last year's winner Iron Maximus. He's got Iraco. He's got Percival the Galwar. That's 3 of the top 5 in the betting.
Yeah, I like Iraco. I really do, but I just can't get the source right. You when you're looking, what the form figures basically suggest, like second, fell, 4th, second, and high quality. Well,
it's never a game,
mate. I really like this horse, and there's some massive race in it. But then you're going down, and this is why you said the race has changed over the years. You look at Stumptown; it was brilliant, and it was there for everybody to see. At Cheltenham, was it 4 from 4 now, and then the unseat before that. Gavin Cromwell will not hear of this horse being beat, and you go, he's normally quite, we'll go there with a good chance, but whatever. What's the other JP horse I can never pronounce? Percival Legarossi.
Percival the Galwar.
Yeah, that's another one of Cromwell's. And obviously JP being the prominent owner, I thought he would have been, bigging this up more than he was, and won the last 2 and what have you. But Cromwell was very much over Stumptown. So with the Fav coming out, that was never run in the first place. I like Iraco from the JP lot, and I just keep coming back. Obviously Irish horse, but I keep coming back to Stumptown. And it was against the weights at Cheltenham.
I can't have Iraco for me.
Oh, come on then.
Struggled. Oh, he was just battered by Grey Dawning. It doesn't look the most natural of jumpers. I know, look, it's different trip, different race, and some people read that race as both connections will be happy, Grey Dawnings and Iraco's. I don't know. And of course, look, we know this has been the target. You talk about its form not being great. It's all roads have led to the national, and everyone's been, they've been pretty vocal about that. I do think it's one of those horses that everyone latches onto and says, this is the national plot, this is the plan, and he's not good enough.
You say that. I mean, you look at his form. All right, he was second to Inothewayurthinkin in novice company at Aintree last year. He was beaten 4 lengths, so now it was basically trying to take on a Gold Cup winner, sticking on. Then he was second at Haydock on soft ground on his seasonal reappearance. He fell at the first. He didn't fall. He got absolutely barged out the way by Phil Dorr. He was literally knocked over at the first at Aintree. It's asking you to put a line through that. 4th at Cheltenham competitive handicap over 2.5 miles. And you say he was battered by Grey Dawning. He was getting £3 when officially should have been getting 10. And you think he wouldn't have been cherry ripe for that. I can see, look, there's pros and cons, it's opinions, that's why we absolutely love the game. I am a big fan. It's not just because Johns Jr. is on it and he's had a great Cheltenham. I've always been a fan of this horse. His jump is a little bit of a concern, but obviously these fences, they fall apart nowadays, don't they? So he'll stay. And I think on his Aintree form from last year, that's second to I Know the Way You're Thinking, a Gold Cup winner, or even he's second to Grey Dawning, who's going to go for the Group 1, Grade 1 bowl. Grade 1 horses, he's in here off 10 stone 11. I think he's got it.
Yeah, just he's an uneasy watch for me. Just doesn't look natural.
Hang on,
what have you got for me?
When you say uneasy watch, is this like watching Geordie Shaw a few years ago with your grandma? You know what I mean? That's what I call an uneasy watch.
Yeah, it just never fills me with confidence. But I like you said, his form isn't half bad, is it? I quite like Stumptown as well, Joel. I think a horse that keeps winning and is obviously well handicapped. It's quite hard to argue against him. Maybe he's kind of he's consistent. And Gavin Cromwell is doing a very, very good job of things. I think Highland might be in with a chance. He's a lovely jumper, travels really nicely. If we're expecting good ground or good to soft, that sort of ground, he goes on that very well. I could see him kind of just lobbing along and popping fences quite nicely. And then maybe Manila Kakuna worth a shout. Danny Mullen's on board. Fourth at Fairy House, he stays again, goes pretty well on a sound surface. He won the 365 at Sandown last year on good ground. I wouldn't be totally against him under a good ride by Mr. Mullins.
Yeah, he'd be my one at a price as well. You mentioned he won the old Whitbread, didn't he, last year on good ground, and he caught the eye in the Bobby Joe chase, which is always a good pointer for this. A good fourth there, back on decent ground. Yeah, I think he's one at a price as well. So I was going to ask if you want at a price. Joel, anything at a bigger price?
Yeah, I know myself and Frankie both have one of Venetia's. And again, I put up La Press to finish in the places for the Gold Cup. Didn't run. Previous to that was pulled up. So there's no damage done whatsoever. And I know this all split opinions with people going, that's a great shout, to people going, are you a loon? 50 to 1. I'll give you 50,000 to 1. I genuinely could see absolutely so many, at least 15 horses that are worse bets than La Press to finish in what? You'll get 6 places on the day, won't you, presumably? La Press for me, for Venetia, is one of those ones that you'd have to be considering. And what was your Venetia horse, Frankie?
A huge price, 50p each way throwaway bet on Quick Wave. I'm just Googling, trying to find the oldest winner ever of the National Awards, getting some stats on how many mares and how many 12-year-olds have won the race. Not many. A couple of 11-year-olds in recent times. Neptune Collonge, Auror's Encore, Pinot de Rue in the last kind of decade or so. They're all 11-year-old. But anyway, yeah, Quick Wave, 12-year-old, had 2 years off the track and made her comeback run at Newbury. Looked like she lacked a little bit of fitness, which is understandable at 12 years old after 2 years off the track. But again, a brilliant jumper, travels well, and probably is just thrown in here because of those 2 years off the track. Her handicap marks come down a touch for not racing, and I'm not mad keen on her, but just a horse that maybe caught the eye if you're trying to find a wild bet.
Well, hang on.
Bombay Genius.
No, I'm just saying she's done it before, hasn't she?
What's that?
Was it
Monmouth, 100 to 1.
Monmouth, wasn't it? 100 to 1. Was that right?
Yeah, 100 to 1. Yeah. I just want to throw Bombay Genius in as well, because don't forget he was favourite for the National last year to finish in third of the Hennessy, but then it completely went wrong for him, pulled up in the Ultima. But he's back with a bang this year, isn't he? Second at Haydock in soft ground, fourth in the Welsh National, then won at Utox to his prep run. And he's kind of the forgotten horse, isn't he? He's off 147, and it's happened before the National. Fancied the year before, doesn't make it, and then the next year he's a forgotten horse and he springs up and runs a good race. Anyway, look, there's loads to look at. We are nominal no bet right now, so if you have a bet and the horse doesn't run, you will get your money back. That is our early thoughts for the Aintree Grand National. We'll have a special preview show the week of the greatest race. So make sure you join us for that. Like and subscribe, and when that drops, you will be the first to know. So the Aintree Grand National gets underway on the 5th of April.